Hydrangeas are one of the most confusing plants to prune because they don't all get pruned the same way. In today's vlog, I'm going to show you exactly how I prune each type of hydrangea in my garden, and I'll explain why. Hi everyone, my name's Annette. Welcome back to Cottoverdi and our garden here in South Buckinghamshire. If you've ever hovered over one of your hydrangeas, secateurs in hand, and then backed away because it seems too complicated, then this vlog is for you. The reason it's so complicated is because some hydrangeas bloom on old wood, which is last year's growth, and some hydrangeas bloom on new wood, which is this year's growth. And so if you don't know which one you have, then you could end up chopping off this year's flowers. So I'm going to start with the mop heads and the lace caps. These are the Hydrangea macrophylla, and then they'll have a name of the variety afterwards. This one here is Madame Emile Moulière. Now is a perfect time, late winter. It's February at the moment here. It's February everywhere actually. It's February at the moment, and it's the perfect time to prune the hydrangeas because most of them are just breaking dormancy. So they're going to have little buds, and then we'll know where to prune to. Now, mop heads and lace caps are your classic blousy hydrangeas. They've got really big flower heads that are sort of round in shape. The lace caps are sort of slightly flatter, but still that sort of very round shape rather than the pointy ones, which I'll cover later. So the macrophylla hydrangeas bloom on old wood, so it's really important that we don't prune them too hard. They really just want last year's flower heads taking off down to the first bud. Obviously we take off any dead wood that we can see, so if one of the stems has died, we'll take that off. It's normally grey and brittle, and that's how you'll be able to tell, and none of the buds will be breaking dormancy on that stem. But other than that, just take off the very top. So this hydrangea, Madame Emile Moulière, is perfect for a partly shady border, which is where we've got it planted here, sort of next to a massive yew. So it will get shade in the afternoon, and it's sort of at the back of the border, so it's going to get shade the rest of the summer from some of the plants on the other side of the border over there. This one's got gorgeous white flowers, and as they age they'll have a more pinky tinge to them. So what I'm going to do with these is take off each flower head, and I'll take it down to a strong bud. So I could take it down to these buds here, or I could take it down to this one here, but the less we take off the better. So I'm going to pop it down and just take it down to that bud there. So we're just taking off the very top down to where we can see a strong bud. So if you're not sure whether a stem is dead or not, the dead stems will look like this. They'll sort of be white in the centre, and they'll be quite brittle, so you'll be able to sort of snap them quite easily, like that. So it is worth taking a look at the plant and just checking that it's growing into the shape that you want, but also making sure there aren't too many crossing branches. And we've got a crossing branch down here, and I'm just going to take off the ones that look a bit weak and feeble, and just make sure they're not going to be crossing too badly. So what we have now is something that hasn't been chopped back hard at all, and I've taken off anything that looked a little bit dead. There might be one more down there. Just going to take that off. And then there are loads of new shoots bursting forth for this year. It is so windy today, I can't tell you. We're out in the front garden now, which is where I have the next group of hydrangeas. Well, I have a lot of them here. So this is the paniculata group. These are the ones with the lovely cone-shaped flowers, really big and blousy again. They normally start off white and then fade to sort of blush and rosy pink as the season progresses. And these are the ones that bloom on new wood. So we can afford to be a little bit braver here. We can cut back to a nice framework. We can cut back to a nice strong bud. We're not just taking off the tips, we're trying to create a plant in the shape that we like. And these ones actually really appreciate a good haircut, because if we don't prune them relatively hard, then they can become quite lanky over time and the flowers will get smaller and smaller. So you get bigger flowers the harder you prune. Behind me here, I've got 3 paniculata vanille frays, and these are gorgeous, luscious hydrangeas that start off creamy white, and then as the season progresses, the wind's blowing my camera. And then as the season progresses, they'll turn to shades of pink, and then in the autumn sort of russety red. They really are that very sort of vanilla strawberry shade. They're gorgeous. I'm going to go through how I'm pruning these. Again, these bloom on new wood, so we can afford to cut them back a little bit harder. So some of these are about the same height as me. These will get to 2 meters by 2 meters eventually, but again, I'm just going to prune them quite hard so we can sort of see where I pruned them to last year, and then it's produced 3 strong stems here. And again, I'm just going to prune this back quite hard, so I'm probably going to take it down to the first node here. Well, it's sort of the second node actually. I'm going to prune it quite hard like this, and you can see the size of the flower heads it produces. Absolutely gorgeous. Don't be afraid to prune these. The paniculata hydrangeas are very forgiving. So I've taken off, well, quite a lot, probably about a third. I'm just going to prune this one back a little bit more. And then whilst we're here, again, it's important to look for anything that doesn't look right. Maybe it's crossing too much, or maybe one of the stems is looking a little bit rotten or something, or it's dead. Then don't be afraid to take those off. You can just take them off, and this plant will just keep branching and blooming. Taken off some of the Garrya elliptica because it was wrecking my hydrangea. Over here I've got my 3 limelights. These will grow to 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters tall. They are in a little bit of shade from the tree above, but they do get full sort of morning sun and a bit of afternoon sun too. So they should be growing a little bit faster than this, but I have a feeling that this tree in our neighbour's garden is taking a lot of the water. I may have to move these one day, but at the moment I'm keeping them here. Again, these are paniculata hydrangeas, so we prune them relatively hard. If you want bigger blooms, then prune harder, and I'm pruning to an open framework. I'm doing exactly the same as I did on the vanille fraise, and these are gorgeous because they start off lime green and then fade to sort of white and then move on to sort of pinky tones as autumn starts progressing, and then you just have lovely structure in the winter, which is one of the reasons why I really love hydrangeas. The other thing I'm noticing with these limelights is that they've got a lot of very small spindly growth. So this is just sort of a mass of little branches, and I really want it to focus on growing upwards. So I'm just going to take a lot of the branches like pointing downwards, and we don't want that. So I'm going to take off these little bits here in the hope that that will focus its energy on growing upwards. So I'm also tackling anything that's pointing in towards the centre of the plant. I don't want that taking up space either. So anything that's weak like this, just taking it off, especially if it's growing in towards the centre. While I'm out here in the front garden, I am going to pick one of my favourite shrubs behind me. This is called a Salix Mount Asso. It's a pussy willow, and it really has got the most gorgeous pinky red pussy willows. They're so pretty. Let me show you. I'm going to pick some. It's gorgeous. So looking at this now, I've waited too long and they're going a little bit black, maybe because of the rain we've had. They're still gorgeous and fluffy, but there's one branch that's like growing along the ground. So I really want to pick this one. I need to prune it off anyway. So I'm going to prune the branch that's lying on the ground, and then hopefully next year it will grow upwards. And then I am going to bring these inside and pop them in a little vase. So the reason that I've popped over to this pussy willow is because I have got a grandiflora, paniculata grandiflora here, and this is one that I planted very recently, and this needs pruning too. So again, I'm just going to prune it back, taking off all the spindly little growth, and trying to encourage it to grow stronger growth this year. And because it's a paniculata, we can prune it quite hard. So I realise that looks quite harsh, but what I'm doing is I am directing it which way to grow. So I'm saying grow outwards and grow stronger, and I've just taken off all the weak stuff. Also, we've got the first of our daffodils. The paniculata grandiflora is going to grow to about 2.5 metres by 2.5 metres, so it's going to get quite big over time, but it's got the most enormous flowers, gorgeous white cone-shaped blooms. They're about 20 to 30 centimetres in size, so I'm really looking forward to when the plant is bigger and I get those enormous blooms. At the moment it really is quite diddy, but they don't take long to grow. Whilst I'm out here, I also want to show you the Hydrangea petiolaris, or climbing hydrangea, that we've got in the corner over here. This bunch of sticks here in the corner, this is the climbing hydrangea, or Hydrangea petiolaris. It's going to grow to 15 metres tall by 3 metres wide eventually, and it's sort of self-clinging. It will make its own way up this wall. They're really slow to establish, which is why it's quite short at the moment, but this is kind of coming into its stride. We noticed a big amount of growth last year. These have got sort of lacy white flowers, beautiful flower heads, and the plant is just covered in them, festooned in these gorgeous white flower heads, and it's really good on a shady wall. And this is very much a shady corner, very much a shady wall, so that's why we've chosen this plant here, and it will eventually just cover this whole area, hopefully. The great thing about this hydrangea is there is absolutely no need to prune it unless you want to shape it or direct it towards the wall. So we have in the past sort of cut off some of the growth at the front to try and encourage it to go up the wall, and you know, we're sort of gradually getting there. Right behind me here we've got some branches that are climbing up the wall. Now we're going to talk about the arborescens type hydrangeas. This one behind me is Annabelle, absolutely gorgeous, super popular. These have enormous snowball-like flower heads. The Annabelle starts off white and then changes to sort of green as the season progresses. Not dark green, like a very light green, and then fade to brown. They stay there all winter, so again, it's a really nice structure. Now these bloom on new wood, and you could cut them quite hard to about 30 or 40 centimetres above soil level. You could cut them right down to the ground. The more you cut them, or the lower you cut them, the larger your flower heads will be. I tend to do some very hard and some not so hard, so that I get a variety of sizes. I like the really big flower heads on my Annabelle, but I also like to have some for cutting. So I tend to do sort of a variety. Some I cut down really low, and others I leave a little bit longer so that I get the smaller flower heads. But I have actually got 2 of these bushes in the garden, so I could do one really big and one smaller. Anyway, these are really easy to cut. As I said, you can cut them down to ground level, but most people sort of cut them a little bit above ground level. The other thing I should mention about the arborescens hydrangeas is that because we're cutting them down quite low, and because they've got these enormous flower heads, they do tend to need support. We use the supports that we made in a video last year, so these are steel supports that we fabricated ourselves. I'll link the video in the description below if you want to have a look at how you make them. They're super simple and much cheaper than buying them, but that's what we tend to use for the Annabelle hydrangea, and then we yank it out in the winter. So I'm going to grab a stem like this and then sort of guesstimate where 30 centimetres is, and always cut it down to a bud, so you can see that it's breaking dormancy, and I'm cutting it down to that bud there, and then I'll just sort of cut all the others to the same height. Again, if you can see anything that's really spindly and you don't want to keep anything that's really weak, then feel free to take out the weaker stems. So I've cut quite a lot of them down to about 30 centimetres from the ground. A few of them I've cut right back down to the ground, and that will produce some really big blooms. Here down by the brick arch we've got yet another variety of hydrangea. These are called Hydrangea quercifolia, the oak-leaved hydrangea, and they tolerate shade really well, which is why we've got it popped here by the wall. They also don't require any pruning unless you want to tame it slightly. They can grow to 2.5 metres tall, and they're going to have gorgeous white conical flowers, just like most other hydrangeas, but you really don't have to prune it. I can see one branch that's kind of growing towards the ground, so I think I'm going to take that branch off, but apart from that there's nothing else I need to do to this one, and this has retained some leaves through the winter, which is really nice to see. So I'm just popping in here, and I think I'm going to take this branch off and try and encourage it to grow upwards. So I'm taking it, cutting it back to that shoot there, but other than that I don't feel like I need to do anything to this. I'm not sure why it's got a stake, and it will just gradually grow up this wall behind us here. I hope this vlog has made hydrangeas a lot less intimidating. If you've pruned your hydrangea incorrectly in the past, you're not alone. Many of us gardeners make those mistakes, and sometimes we forget which variety we've got. The worst thing that can happen is you'll have lots of fresh green growth for a year and you'll have less flowers, but the next year it will recover. If you're unsure which kind of hydrangea you've got, then describe it in the comments below, or DM me on Instagram, and I'll try and help you analyse. You need to show me the flowers, which type of hydrangea it is, but hopefully this has clarified a lot for you. If you found this vlog helpful, then do consider subscribing to my channel. I produce loads of content full of helpful hints and tips throughout the season. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today in the garden. I'll see you all next time.